Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to Hash Church episode 77. I'm feeling a little bit like a bag of shit today, but we're still going to pull through. We're still going to have Hash Church, as Johnny B just mentioned in the chat room. Let me just get my shit together here. There we go. You'll have to mute that, please, Sam.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just shut it off, maybe. Awesome. There we go. All right. So let me send this out to all the different folks, as I have not even begun to do such things. There's Johnny B. I'll send him the link right away just so he can come and say hello. I'll put it off to everyone else. Usually I have it a little bit more organized than this. Tony. Ratio. We're quite early today as we are in Barcelona, Spain. The last day of Spanibus and the day of Legends of Hash as well. I'm not feeling so good, but I'm very much going to try to be able to make it to both of those events. Let me just get this here real quick. All right. Who else? Who else? All right. I can send it to you via Facebook, can't I, Sam? That's much easier for me. So I'm going to do that. Let's see what's going on. We've already got 226 people. I hope everyone's doing better than I am today. Got a little bit of a cold. Got a little bit of tobacco poisoning last night. Of course, we went to the Advanced Nutrients Palace party. It was a little bit crazy. They rented this giant palace. Hey, welcome, Johnny B. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, you know, that last 3 weeks away from home and finally just picked up something last night, and I had a couple hour nap, but I'm feeling a little bit better anyway. I was feeling pretty rough a while ago, but yeah.
Well, I had to put on my Legends of Hash shirt from the last time I was there. You know I missed it and hope it was a fantastic event for you guys.
Yes, I really don't want to miss it, John, let me tell you. But at the same time, my throat is so sore from all the smoke and tobacco and shitty weed that it's going to be a tough one to make. I like how you're wearing your shirt, though.
Hey, I love this shirt.
You're there in spirit, brother. So how are things going? What's new and different in BC?
You know what? Things are moving slow. We got a ban on vaporized lounges and everything in Ontario, and a lot of stuff happening here in BC. A club got raided on Friday in Tri-City Medicinals, run by by a psychologist and a psychiatrist, doctors, really professionally set up. They went in and they just basically took their computers, took their money, took their weed, didn't even give them, didn't arrest anybody and left.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's really weird what's happening here, but I got the neck brace off.
That's amazing, dude. How's that feeling? Day
42, dude, and I got the neck brace off. That's
wow,
pretty.
Dude. It's awesome. Good to see you looking and feeling good, brother. It's incredible, man. It makes me feel bad that I'm complaining about having a little bit of a cold and you just had fucking spinal surgery.
Oh, dude, cold sucks. It contracts the head, everything. My head's clear. Spinal surgery was good.
I can tell your head is clear, dude. You look like you're ready to go dancing.
I'm gonna be dancing pretty soon. I did the first day and I fell, so I figure I can't do that anymore.
Oh yeah.
So how is everything going in Spain? How is Spanibus treating everybody?
You know, Spanibus was a nice event. The first couple of days were very busy. We've skipped today, obviously. It was just a little bit too much to try and make it down there today, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be better for Legends. I really don't want to miss Legends, man, but the amount of smoke over the last couple of days just took my immune system down, dude.
It's been like that. It was like that last year and the year before.
Yep.
Exactly. It's amazing how it affects certain people, right? So
yeah.
But I mean, that's something that well, I got my new drop down.
Oh, nice, dude. Where'd you get that at?
Hippo blew it for me.
Oh, Hippo.
Yeah, nice little opening there to match the little pipe that I got there during the glass event for the symposium. So I got myself a nice little drop.
That looks perfect, man. That looks perfect. Lots of people are happy to see you looking so healthy and smiling. They're saying this is just great.
You know what, Mark? I was saying to other people, I went up to some people that have known me since my accident, and I went up and shook their hand and say, "Hi, my name's John Berfelo. I don't think you really know me," because a lot of people don't know me who know who I was, because I've been living in pain solid for over 11 years, right? So it's like you, Mark. You've never truly met me not in pain. You know what I mean?
True.
You don't. It's really. I've seen people I haven't seen in years. They came to the gardening store on Thursday, and every person who walked in the door went, "Wow!" Like I'm alive. I feel fantastic, and it's truly amazing. And I talk about how this cannabis community was so much there for me right from the beginning, right through the end till now, to how it's just totally. It's been such a big part of my life. Like it's like I might get a little teary about it, but I mean,
yeah.
In 2005, when I fell and no one that was there to help me, WCB was fighting me, saying there's nothing wrong with me. People thought I was faking it, but the cannabis community was there for me. They're the ones who stood beside me and felt what I was going through and truly saw what I was about, and then using cannabis to get off all the pharmaceutical drugs and then moving forward with it and just how much it became part of my whole general well-being. And then being able to get through that pain every day by using the concentrates, by getting into the hashes, by getting into the rosins, and really realizing how much this has truly been a huge part of my life. And it just feels great to be here and talk to you guys. And you know what? I mean, because there's a lot of you out there that were just like me and were started with, or were injured, or they were beaten down. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, you just have to believe in yourself and this plant. Yeah. Pharmaceutical drugs are truly what brought me down, and I was really realizing, understanding those pharmaceutical drugs and how they affected me, and learning which ones were more natural bases, and then going to the amino acids. I don't even take amino acids anymore. I've been off of everything since surgery, just to see how things work out for me, and it's truly a blessing.
Well, it's we actually had this ex-football player, NFL football player, come by the booth yesterday. I think his name was Ricky Williams. He'd had some problems with getting caught smoking cannabis. They piss tested him. I guess they kicked him out of the NFL. He said he was using it for medical purposes, and I guess he ended up coming back and doing one more season. I believe he was played for Miami Dolphins. But yeah, he came by with ESPN, and we filmed a little thing with myself and Tony and him discussing the different ramifications of using cannabis for pain. Obviously, a lot of football players are in pain. And it was really cool. We even ended up doing a little interview with Sports Illustrated, came by the table right after we did the interview with him, and they just wanted to find out what we spoke about so they could write about it as well. So it was very different to be at a cannabis event and have like a professional athlete come by and, bring ESPN to the table and bring Sports Illustrated. It's really kind of, it's what we're looking for, that normalization, to start seeing this pop up in other platforms.
No, it's really good to see. We used to say that it's the football heroes and the hockey stars that are truly going to be needing to use cannabis in their later years, because of all the hits and injuries and all the arthritis and stuff like that. And even with the new club that opened up in Port Coquitlam that was recently rated, it was run by a psychologist and a psychiatrist, by doctors, by professionals. So it's really good to see how things are changing into more of that professional. I guess they think with Trudeau and the legalization, a lot of these professionals think they can just open up shop and, get on the beginning stages of legalization. But, it's, I don't know what to say. It's weird what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's not super good to see. Recently, I guess we have had over 22,000 arrests in Canada since Trudeau took office for cannabis. I was a little bit disturbed to see that myself.
Yeah, it's well, they're looking at some type of legalized platform like they are all around the world, but see what happens.
Yeah.
I know you can't dab, brother, but I just pressed some of this Heavenly Days, like Girl Scout cookies, and it like fire, like.
Dude, hit it.
Like fire. Look at that.
It's just beautiful. We have some beautiful stuff. I'm just not in a position to want to.
I know, dabs. And there's even a picture of a heart. I love that.
Oh, there you go. Dabbing up with Johnny B. Yeah, after he said he would legalize it, he's allowed 22,400 people to be arrested. I mean, it's probably more now. That was a couple of days ago. And with numbers like that, it must be many, many, many happening every day.
Well, if you remember last week, I talked about a friend of mine that's opening up one of the legal clubs. He's in stage 3 of his licensing with Vancouver. The cops in his jurisdiction were RCMP. They drove into his driveway, opened up his door, and took his money out and said it's illegal.
Oh, yeah.
And then this week, they're raiding a place that's run by doctors and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see how this is happening. And it's hearing about a lot of those arrests right now, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll be hearing from Dana Larson on the subject sooner than later. I can only imagine.
Overgrow. He's going to give away 1 million seeds. Anybody who wants seeds, you go to the Overgrow. He's on Facebook, stuff like that. He just announced it, and he's giving away free seeds over the next month or 2 months across Canada in packs. Just anybody who wants seeds, he's giving away seeds.
I saw that. That's really cool. Giving away 1 million seeds, eh? Overgrowing the government.
Overgrow, outsmoke the government, was I used to say.
Maybe.
It's going to happen, man. It's just like, slowly we'll get enough plants over there. We'll do anything about it.
Well, I'm glad you were up, Johnny B, to be able to come and do a church. I'm not sure how long I'm going to last today, but hopefully we can get a couple of hours under our belt. It would be great if the rest of the panel rolled up and I didn't have to be the main person talking, but we'll see what happens.
No, I pretty much figured the whole panel was in Barcelona, or at least half of them were.
Yeah, we got quite a few people here, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's like it's great to see. Snapchatting with a few people and getting to see. It's really cool how that works. It's all free. You can kind of see everything back and forth.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. Looks like you guys are having a really good time. I miss the food, all of the food everywhere. It's one thing you miss about Europe is there's just food everywhere. Fresh fruit, fresh everything. All the markets. We don't get that here in Canada. But what we do have.
Yeah. People are stoked that you got that brace off, bro. They're really stoked.
Oh, you know what? It feels. Well, I take it off for about an hour or two, and then I put it back on for an hour or two. So it's stages. It came off, like I said, on Tuesday, and it's just, hey, you know what? It's truly, it's just awesome. That's it. I'm really happy.
Oh, we'll have to get together when I get back. I'm going to be going up to Whistler for a week when I get back, just to try and get my immune system back to.
And we'll see the family.
Yeah, I got to get back to my family and check them out. All sorts of things have been going on since I've been gone. So I've been gone 3 weeks now.
I know your little one's probably grown that much.
Oh yeah, he's grown up huge, man. It's quite something.
Yeah, my goddaughter's her first birthday there yesterday, and went for the christening and nice big dinner and stuff like that. It's amazing how quick they grow.
Fucking right.
Just awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool.
No, but no, just reading some stuff on terpenes, and I put a post on Hash Church about it last night. It was kind of interesting.
Nice.
How they're really pushing terpenes now. Everybody's everybody's talking about 5 reasons why terpenes are the future, and taking a look at what we've all been talking about. And that's why we're so great here. Rise of aroma and flavor, terpenes and terpene profiles. Over 200 terpenes have been found in cannabis and are some of the common to be. Yeah, it's just a really good post. It's in Hash Church, of course. It was just something that people would like to read.
Yep. Give them a shout. We got 500 people watching live, and we're 2 hours early. That's quite something. It's almost 4:20 here in Spain, 4:19 for those of you who want to light up.
1 minute warning for all you 420 people in the world.
Exactly.
Well,
hopefully I can make it out of here. I really just hope that I can, not get any sicker before I fly out in 24 hours.
You're not gonna get any sicker. Cold FX.
No, I have nothing, dude. I got nothing. I have no medicine whatsoever to take.
No.
No.
Sound during Remo there?
What's
Sound
that?
bottle of Cold FX in her purse when she flies.
Oh, really, eh? That's awesome. Yeah, I usually am okay with flying. Sometimes I'll catch something on the way home, but
That's a 420. That's a 420 for somebody out there.
that's it. 420 happening right now. Are you going to film Legends? I don't even know if I'm going to be making it to Legends. I'm really kind of worried about it, to be honest. It's really the main reason I came to Spain, to be able to throw this party and get together with all these great people. And I just feel real rough. I'm not going to lie.
Dude, you're a trooper. You never give up. That's why you're doing house church right now.
Dude, 77 in a row. I felt like, man, I got to represent.
If you got an extra large other house shirt, Legends shirt, if there's one this year, I would love to grab one.
Yes, well, we'll see what we can do. I think we made exactly the same for 2 days. Hey there.
Who's this?
That's Skunkman Sam. He'll just have to mute his mic every time he's not talking, or he'll do this. It is muted. Really? Really? There's no way it's muted because we're reverberating through your.
Oh, guys, what's everybody puffing on this one?
This is mute right here.
House church. And what is your flavor of the day? What have you put together for your house church morning? I got all my rosin just sitting right here getting ready. I mean, pressing, and had to get a station going this morning. It was actually got up, turned up the stereo, did a 7 dead bong rip. Morpheus wanted to get fed.
Nice.
Did a post, ran outside, looked at the garden. I'm using this new nutrient from Green Planet. It's called Dual. It's a 2-part, and wow, I can't believe the results. Like, had some sick plants, and they really bounced back really, really quickly. So I'm really happy about that, and be working really hard in the garden this year, and putting my best to my best because I feel so good. So I'm really going to be putting a lot into this garden this next grow. Really excited with the genetics too.
That's awesome, dude. I think that's great. I can't wait to see what comes out of that.
Well, just, it's called paying attention. You got to be on top of things, and I think with my pain there last year and stuff like that, I was lagging, and that's where a lot of people who are injured and have their gardens and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard. We know that,
Right.
but it gets you out of bed. It does get you in there. That's one thing.
Hey, welcome, Camara.
What's up, man?
Oh, you're quiet.
You got
Good
that?
morning.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you're really quiet. Is he quiet for you, John?
He is a little quiet, maybe he's just trying to come in lightly. He knows you're sick. He's trying to doesn't want to talk too loud for you.
Weird, I was quiet last time, too.
This is really quiet. It sounds like you're muffled, like something's covering your mic.
I'll call you back.
Yeah, try that.
This last time he called us back, and then things worked out pretty good. So
Well,
you can
yesterday,
get people on here. You can go lie down. You can go to sleep, have a nap. Someone can turn off the computer. Where's Tony?
Sorry. I just got a message, so I lost my train of thought. But yesterday, I was lucky enough to get introduced to the founder of the Super Sativa Seed Club and talked to him a little bit. Sam was nice enough to introduce me to him. And he said that he might be willing to make an appearance on Hash Church in the future and talk a little bit about how he came to create this SSS Seed Club, SSSC. For those of you that know, it came out in around 86, 87. It was a seed catalog, and it's definitely like a big part of the history of all these different seed companies. There's hundreds of them out there now, maybe even over 1,000. And back in the 70s, apparently there was really only one. Williams Wonder.
The more seed companies, the better.
Oh. Yeah, Williams Wonder.
Ganja growing, better. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Man, I'm just glad that we've already done more than 17 minutes, which is the shortest Hash Church I've ever done.
Well, you know what? That was a snowstorm. Come on. And you were with some Jamaicans.
I was. It was beautiful.
Okay, so you've got to be that you're worse than Jamaicans that are always late for everything.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Spain has had some absolutely beautiful hash and rosin. We've seen full melt dry sift probably a dozen times. We've seen all sorts of beautiful full melt and some rosin that was, you know, absolutely surreal. How stinky and tasty it was.
Looks like the guys at HQ are rocking it up. Carlos sent me a little pic from there the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Almost.
Interesting.
Of course, I'm doing the fold.
Holding it up and getting ready. Ah, yeah, a couple people mentioning Waba. For those of you that saw the Waba field, hope you enjoyed it. It was great.
I like his dab that you did with him.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to give him another one, but he was like, dude, I'm good with one.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
good.
that one was good for him.
Yeah.
I'm over here squishing, guys.
What's that?
I said I'm just over here squishing.
All right, well, squish it up.
I mean, this. Look at this. This is from the Heavenly Days Girl Scout. This squishes amazingly. I can't believe that's a squirter, man. That's like. I love good movies.
Just beautiful.
And I'm happy I just squished a little bud and I'm like super excited.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's because I haven't been able to squish for a while, right? So now I'm able to get back into the squishing. It was a little hard for a while. I haven't done any bag pulling yet. I'm kind of I'm on about 2 liters of fluids right now. So no pulling bags.
Huh.
So I was asking people what they were smoking this morning, what they were squishing, what they had.
And what did they have? What were they saying?
Not too much, actually. You're squishing or squashing. I probably got a little distracted by squishing, so I asked and then I forgot to look. Because I woke up this morning with a toke. I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what? It's Sunday. I put on my house shirt and I just did this great big bong toke upstairs. I sit on this little round disc lately, and I've been doing my balancing, trying to get. That's the only way to exercise right now, is just to work on core and stuff like that. And turn up the music, 7:10. It's always a great morning. I hope you spend your mornings the same way, getting up and just feeling great.
Well, you know, the last week I've definitely been waking up and having a great session with Skunkman, Sam, and Tony, and we've been enjoying every day. It was really just the first day today that it knocked me down a few pegs.
Yeah, it's always hard when you're going for 3 weeks. A month, you take off.
Yeah.
And you're go. And you're working.
Long time to be away and a lot of traveling.
How big's Thaddeus?
Huge, big, dude.
Bigger than last year. Before?
Thousands of people for sure. I don't know what they're going to cover in 3 days, but I'm sure it'll be 40 or 50,000.
60 catalogs.
Yes, 60 seed catalogs Sam collected. There's 60 seed companies there with booths.
Companies?
Yeah.
Well,
Wild, eh?
That's awesome.
That's a lot of seed companies.
Seeds are, right? Depending on the companies, it just could be
Pretty crazy.
Sam, kind of chat.
Hey, welcome back, Chimera.
Thank you.
Hey.
Perfect. You are now perfect.
That's a dab worthy right there.
Are you hitting terps, Johnny?
I'm not hitting nothing. I just want my voice to come back.
You got the
What's that?
You got the dreaded cannabis event curse.
Yeah, I haven't had it in a long time, but I'm feeling it.
I was thinking you should have brought Johnny's butt plug.
Yeah. D420K, you mean?
No, who was it the other last week that had the little green thing you called the butt plug?
Darrin had one.
I was looking for this. This is awesome. I like it when I find stuff. Sorry.
No, Bubbleman's not dry. Bubbleman has tons of stash. I just been poisoned with tobacco and shitty weed smoke to the point where my voice and my throat are absolutely trashed. So I'm going to take a little bit. Yeah, tea. I'll probably have some tea.
I realized my pipe is, doing dabs without any water in it. I was like, wait, this
Really?
is my third, fourth dab.
That's pretty hilarious, dude. I can't believe 500 people are... What the heck time is it there, John?
It's right now, it's 8:30 a.m. Isn't it like, didn't clocks go back last night? It might be 7:30.
It's not bad.
When was their daylight savings time? Is there one coming up?
Oh, I don't know. Did we just do daylight savings?
I don't know.
Happened.
It could be
Nobody knows.
really, really, really high this morning, but I know it's coming up.
How you doing, hemp guy?
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. How about this shirt that was given to me?
Nice.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I found my
You
mushroom.
see the quote at the bottom? Bill Hicks. It's just a ride. Classic Bill Hicks. For those of you that don't know Bill Hicks, Google it up. It's awesome. Great comedian who really delved into some pretty deep content.
He is one funny man.
All right, so people asked about the terpene party. I could talk about that a little bit. It was pretty awesome. We learned some things. We definitely produced some terp champagne for the night. We had about 8 or 9 bottles of carbonated water, which is very easy for those of you that want to make your own terp champagne. It's really as simple as adding the terps to the water, flipping it up and down a couple of times and letting the bubbles carry that terpene drop and dissipate it up and down. It seemed like 3 or 4 good turns, and the bottle was absolutely saturated to the point you could smell it when you opened it, and when you, of course, drank it, it was just like all the way down your throat. The beautiful, just really much like the stuff that I had with Horatio the first time. We also had... we had 10 cultivars, and we wanted to make sure that everyone was able to try each one. So Robert Carroll, our friend who won second at Dabadoo, won the second, maybe even first, I think second. He brought his winning entry, like 20 or 30 grams of rosin, and we made a bunch of these different little sort of packs where we had 3 grams of rosin on an oil slick canvas, and then we saturated... with a drop of each, we saturated that and mixed it all up, and we did that with all 10 flavors on 4 different mats. And passed them around to the tables, let people smell each terpene, take a dab, then smell it again, have a taste. The cake was a complete and total bonus that the people from La Calada just produced for us. We had no idea they were going to produce such a cool thing. We never asked for it. It was really fucking cool. And it was really just an evening of, I think we went through 15 bottles of terpenes, so maybe 120 to 150 drops at the party. And about, I guess, 60 people maybe were there. So we made sure that everyone got the full-blown experience. People were just, their faces were lit. It was very different to have that kind of an experience, like a wine tasting where it seems to just keep everyone in an up state. You don't get this lower sort of vibration that seems to occur when you're smoking a lot of THC without those added terps. So it was really a nice party. It was the first one. Tony and I are going to try and throw one on 420 in Vancouver. He's going to be possibly coming up for that. And we'll do a big 420 event there, and then we'll have a really nice special event at night with a terpene gala event where everyone can come and enjoy the terpenes. Hopefully we'll have at least 20 kinds cultivars this particular time around, and we're even thinking of maybe doing it in May at the Lift conference that we're both speaking at and have a booth at. So you're going to see these terpene parties pop up down in America. You'll start seeing them pop up in Canada, and they're just really a nice, refreshing way to hang out with cannabis-based people and still enjoy yourself with just a little little tweak in how we normally do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I happen to have a penthouse suite overlooking 420. I've already rented it, so we'll definitely talk more.
Nice. Excellent, Johnny B. Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I took care of that right away. I was like, you know what, it's going to be a really good 420 all around the world, and then to hear about a terpene party at a 420 event, that's even better, and I think that's fabulous, guys. It's really a new thing. People are really enjoying it, and I think it's refreshing. It's going to be a terpene parties of 2016. Bomb rip.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's the, we're gonna try and rock at least one or two legends a year, but definitely I see the terpene party being much more. I'm sure Tony's gonna throw them down in Colorado and California and all over the place. Everyone wants the terps. You could not imagine how excited everyone is at the event for these terpenes. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen loads of terpene companies in the next year or so.
Loads of terpene companies, dude. You want I bet you it blows away extract companies in the next like you say year. We're just gonna see dozens of them.
Yeah. Right on.
Terpene company, I get that going right away, don't I?
Exactly.
That's awesome. You know what? It's we always know it's like aromatherapy, and we do it for decades, and to see it taken to another level with cannabis and how we're starting to be able to access that, because it truly was like when I was in the hospital how those terpenes help. So it's really it's going to be a whole new field of what they look at even for medical and stuff like that, how it's able to modulate certain brain functions. Cool.
Yeah, you were definitely liking it in the hospital there. That was a neat little video we did.
Yeah, you can definitely see how it modulated certain things in my brain, and I could feel the effects, like literally feel the effects. Even though I was on a little bit of morphine, I could still feel how it helped me with certain fragrances. They uplift you. It's like a breath of fresh air, and you can see how that just does that. And it's like walking into a house that has some good. When you open up my front door, everybody opens up the door. The first thing they do is they smile because of the aromatherapy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because the cost of production, and again, the barrier of production is the fact that all these unique smells are really in drug cannabis. They're not in hemp. So you couldn't, it's a whole different thing than extracting these terps from hemp.
Yeah.
And so that means that it's going to be difficult to produce in large quantities enough terps to fill the market.
It's funny though about the hemp terpenes that are like in this distillate here. It should be out of the distillate like it is with the other distillates that they have, but the terpene is still in there. It's like a cherry. It's like a dark, and you can't get that terpene out of hemp.
Well, you it's terpene.
Very unique.
Are you sure it's a terpene? Should be going. Why don't you run it through the GC? Can you do terpenes on your GC?
Not yet. I'm in the midst of getting back into there. It's going to happen. it's getting the new column and getting a dry injecting syringe and stuff like that, and just learning a little bit more about it. So it's definitely going to come in the next few months. But I still have to spend more work in there on other things. So.
Right on. Well, yeah, I was wondering because I'm thinking, are they going to start producing these terps in bacteria too, and then making mixes?
Sorry,
what's that, Chimera?
I wonder if people are going to start producing these terpenes in yeast or bacteria also, and then doing the production that way.
That's an interesting concept for sure.
How do you if you have a huge demand, which is going to happen over the next few years, man, that's a lot of terpenes. It's a lot of plants that have to be produced to fill that demand.
Yeah, but how many fake terpenes?
I met a guy from France the other day, and he basically gave me these shoes, and inside the shoes he had these inserts that had pot leaves all over them. And he had big jars, like chemical, the aluminum type bottles from labs that are properly sealed and everything. He had like 4 or 5 of them of his own cannabis-derived terpenes. He had them in spray bottles, and he had them in bottles that you could just pour them right out. And he was basically spraying up the shoes. His whole trip was smell my shoes. You can go dancing in these shoes. You can spend a whole day in these shoes, and when you take them off, they release these nice smells instead of the rank foot odor that a lot of people would get after dancing on their feet in socks and stuff for hours at a time. Pretty neat little product. I'll probably show it on my channel when I get back home.
It's hemp terps?
No, they're high cannabis, like mango kush, and he basically had enough access to make big bottles. He had, I guess, big outdoor grower or something. I'm not sure, but he was one of the only guys we saw there that actually had terps, and he had a product, so it was kind of neat.
That's cool.
People are doing different things anyway. They're coming up with ideas.
Well, it's going to be perfumes based from cannabis. They'll be in the high-end stores and sell them for like $1,000 and 1 little ounce.
What's that?
Well, they got to just make sure that if people are going to be smoking them, they got to make sure that they're certified and clean and not contaminated, adulterated.
That's good. Just want to show his card.
Before we didn't want to smell cannabis, now all we want to do is smell it.
Yeah, there have been some other terps that we smelled while here, Chimera, and they smell just a little off. It smells like something's not quite right in them. They don't. They look a lot like Tony's on Instagram photos and stuff, but they don't. They're not the same. There's still like something left behind, or something's been altered in a way that you just don't get that. Oh, it kind of like what I do is I smell it and I'm like, something a bit weird there. Just something a little bit weird.
Yeah, well, again, it falls into this weird, unregulated market, right? It's like these spice products that people are selling them for not for human consumption, right? So it's like if people are going to start selling terps for human consumption, does that create a different, level of purity, and does it have to be tested and all that kind of stuff, right?
Well, I guess with terps, there's definitely no way of contaminating it, is there? I mean, can't get any pesticides. What can you get in the terpenes itself? I mean, those are that's
well, you can change the molecule by not knowing what you do. I tried to explain this to all sorts of guys that were doing BHO. All the BHO people that I met, not one of them said they had a PhD in chemistry, and I just said, that would be a good idea to understand. I'm pretty sure chemists go to school for years to understand complexities and nuances and subtleties that people that don't take chemistry would easily miss, and they wouldn't understand maybe even the simple SOP that a chemist might follow when he goes to a lab, because he went to school for many, many years, and he understands that there are these sort of methods of following these simple rules. And I was just amazed at how many. Terpenes, we know when we heat terpenes that they can change into different terpenes. So I think that right there, it seems to be from the first time I smelt terpenes, which were steam distilled in yellow, they had a particularly acrid smell, and it wasn't until Tony started getting them to come out really clear, and almost curing them the way you would cure your bud or your hash, because those caustic monoterps that are present at the start seem to really grab you by the throat, and they're not quite as enjoyable to smell either compared to when they're gone, and then all of a sudden you get this real nice soft flavor that comes out, and it just seems to me a little bit more not really sure how to describe it. Just user-friendly? Yeah, and user-friendly, or just like nicer. There's something about it that's nicer, so that took, the last year. Tony wasn't curing his terps originally, but I know that he cures them now, and he doesn't just make them and then sell them.
Curing terps.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept.
John, you were saying that there couldn't be pesticides or anything. I mean, you could have all that same stuff in it, but it's contaminated. So it depends on the extraction process that's used, right? And as more and more people get in, everybody's going to come up with their own, secret method or whatever, and you don't, unless all the stuff's being tested, you don't know what's actually in it.
Well, that's the whole thing.
That's kind of the point that I was making. But if people are going to be using these things for human consumption, that they should be
tested.
They should be testing it, and you should have to show what's in it.
Yeah, 100%. I love the idea of it coming with the entire terpene profile and just getting it tested really nicely. What are, from your perspective, Chimera, what, hydrodiffusion, steam distillation, vac diffusion, what other methods are there for people to actually produce these terpenes?
I'm not a chemist, so I'm not a good person to ask that to. Yeah.
Where's Mark? Is his ears ringing right now?
What's that?
Isn't Mark's ears ringing right now, Scialdone?
I don't know. I sent him the link, but it's early.
Talking right now as we were saying that, I would just click. Okay, didn't work. We tried.
There's all sorts of techniques that people are going to use.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it goes beyond the extraction process, it becomes the supply chain too. Where did the weed come from? Who grew it? What methods did they use? So I think, again, in regulated markets, we'll see that there'll be like an extraction grade cannabis that's grown, and there'll be this whole set of regulations that go along with it. And again, all those products, just like they do in California, residual tests for solvents and for butane and all that kind of shit, it will happen also with terpene products, or it should happen with terpene products.
Yeah.
But that's
Charlie
also
Simon just says. Charlie Simon says GW Pharma has a hot air extraction method for terpene extraction. I linked the patent to Hash Church a few weeks ago.
cool. Heat, but it's heat, so again, I wonder if it represents if the terpene profile of the material that goes in is what comes out in the end, right?
Yep. Well, hopefully Tony makes it back. He was supposed to be back about an hour ago. He was just going out to drop a friend off, but it would have been great to get a little bit of information on this and find out when people can expect Blue River lab tests. I think it would be nice for people to be able to get with the product, or at least just have them on the website for each batch.
Well, and that comes down to, again, how big is a batch? Like, it's there's a whole bunch of issues that need to be sorted out there. What do you think?
Batches are pretty big because they're getting they couldn't find better weed. You know what I'm saying? Like 10-pound plant, perfectly grown by conscious, multi-generational growers in California. Just beautiful, beautiful profile production. No chemicals, organic, et cetera, et cetera. So he's very, very lucky, and that's always like. Everyone wants to play the game, but really the supply of the raw product is really going to decide how much you get to play, and that's always been the same with extracts as well. Are you able to make grams? Are you able to make kilos? Are you able to make tons? These are the differences between, or how Howard Marks always said in his book, or there was a beautiful quote, there's two types of dealers, those that need forklifts and those that don't. And so maybe there's two types of extract people and two types of growers and two types of even terp producers. Those that need.
Then we have to take a look at the home growers that need access for themselves too. So we need guys so we can make it at home.
But you're right, though, Marcus. I mean, that is going to change. I mean, California, one of the things about their new regulations, even for medicine, are going to allow these big grows. And so that will be one of the problems. I'm sure that'll be what you're not sourcing it from 10-pound plants, but you're sourcing it from acres at that point.
Acres, exactly. Yeah, when we're able to do sections and hectares, be quite exciting. The race to the bottom.
I don't know if you've seen that down in California, but it's one of the most impressive things about the whole state is the industrial agriculture. It's something else to see. Like, it really is. I've never seen it anywhere else in the world. But just huge, huge, huge production of everything from strawberry to lettuce to citrus to everything. Everything. Garlic.
Just thinking what it's going to do to this earth when we start growing hectares and hectares of ganja all around the world. Just how much fresh, just how it's going to clean the air.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it'll change the way people think, is what my partner always said when we first got hemp growing in Manitoba. He said, this is going to change the way people think. I mean, they're going to be driving by in their cars, and they're going to look over, and they're going to see acreages of cannabis, And in Manitoba, it happened faster than you think. At first, the high school kids were racing to the fields and cutting buds and getting caught at their high school with big 6-foot-long hemp buds in their lockers. And after a couple of years it dissipated and everyone realized, no, there's no THC there. There's not really any value of smoking that product, and it's just another product that gets left alone, like flax and wheat and all these other sort of things that are grown in the prairies.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I wonder if it'll take us there that way. If these terps will be produced in THC-producing plants, or will there be a whole new breeding thing for essentially flower hemp, CBD-rich plants, low THC, that produce high amounts of oil, flowers, of terpenes, in known or desired quantities? Something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also keep in mind in the aromatherapy world, it's all about the elevation and the soil and the particular environmental variables that occur in certain places that just produce the best lavender and the best chamomile and the best, etc. So we may very well find that cannabis grows everywhere, but in specific areas it will produce specific terpene profiles and in higher peaks. And this is just a theory, but it seems to work with all other essential oil secreting plants.
Of course, it's true.
Yeah.
Of course.
It has to be, right? How could cannabis not be a part of it?
No, it is. Period. You don't even have to speculate.
Yeah. Well, there's always someone to call me out and say I'm wrong. So
Terpenes are really produced by light and genetics is what determines the profile. So you really need something that's going to be a high light environment, right temperature for sure, probably low wind, anything that's going to minimize terpene loss, right?
Mm-hmm. I think
Have all those.
altitude could have something to do with it as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, welcome Etienne. Oh, that's who never got a link today. I forgot Etienne. I couldn't think this morning.
Yeah, you look
Not
rough,
gonna
dude.
lie.
And it happens all the time.
Oh, I've
You got
just
so
a massive brain fart going on with me right now.
Yeah, you've got to be careful at those cannabis events to anybody that hasn't gone. Man, you can get so sick. There's so many people there all coming around from all different parts of the world bringing their germs.
Oh yeah, and even
Trying
more
to-
so, lowering the immune system with no sleep and a lack of eating food and the whole 9 yards. Inhaling radioactive tobacco.
Waiting for Etienne to come in, and I'm going to do a dab with him.
I sent him the link. He should be heading in a bit here. I sent it out to a schwack of people this morning, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. It's early. It's almost 5 o'clock here in Spain. Legends of Hash starts in less than an hour. I don't even know what I'm going to do about that. I'm going to have to maybe head down there just for a little bit and try to make an appearance and say something, and I just won't be able to be in that room and not be able to breathe.
Yeah, when he,
How did the tobacco-free room work out at La Calada or wherever?
It was okay, except when someone like Tony would have a conversation with the owner right at the door. He'd open the door and then stand there for 20 minutes and have a conversation. And then Sam and I were like, okay, so basically the tobacco-free room is fucked now. It's completely full of tobacco.
For the next 2 hours.
Yeah, for the next 2 hours. So, but those guys at La Calada, I'd just like to say, honestly, if you guys are in Barcelona, hopefully they have that tobacco-free room because the tobacco in there gets really crazy. But fresh squeezed juices, incredible staff. They gave us beautiful dry sift and beautiful water hash.
They went out of way to make us feel at home.
Yeah, they went way out of way to make us feel at home. They produced one of those chocolate balls that you pour the hot cream on and it cracks open, and inside was a medicated treat. I mean, these guys balled out on us. I can't say enough good about La Calada. And welcome, Etienne. Sorry about forgetting you, brother.
It's all good, buddy. I figured it's been a kind of a crazy day, plus it's daylight savings time here, so
That's what I thought.
I can't believe, I don't know why we continue to do this stupid thing here in America, pretend, we shortened it, now we're going to pretend again. I just don't, why do we still do daylight savings time?
They're saying the health effects, too, are really quite serious overall in the population, that it causes as much drama to people as it saves. So,
I seen a thing on the plane, and it's a light product that shines light into your ears. And apparently this is how this is how our bodies register nighttime and daytime. It's actually done through our ears. And so this product on the plane, it was quite expensive, 200 plus euros or something, but you could run this light through your ears for an hour or so, and it would readjust you, keep away jet lag, and these sort of things. I never bought it, but I looked at it and thought that's kind of an interesting concept.
I've never heard of it, but it sounds interesting nevertheless.
Yeah, there's a whole part of your brain that regulates your biorhythm.
Huh. Trippy.
So what new things have you seen in Barcelona this week? I know there's got to be some new things there, huh?
Oh, yeah, let me think. What kind of new things were there? I sat at my booth most of the time. I didn't really get out much to go and visit other booths. I went and saw DNA at one point in time, said hi to those guys, and other than that, I was really at my booth the entire time. The terpene shoes were kind of funny. That was a new thing. I thought I got a kick out of that.
What do you mean terpene shoes?
Well, he had shoes with special insoles, and he would drip terpenes in them, and it was a product that he was selling. The old, his motto was "Smell my shoes."
Oh, talk so forward.
Some soul for your soul.
That made me laugh, to say the least. So Legend starts in 1 hour. Wow.
Bummer.
So are you gonna
Rip is right.
Are you gonna broadcast from Legends, or that's all quiet?
What's that?
You don't broadcast from Legends. No pictures. Definitely not broadcasting.
I was
Nothing.
wondering if you were gonna broadcast from Legends, but I know that's usually a very private, quiet thing. So.
Yeah, no broadcasting. To elaborate on the difference between a variety of culture
genetics that are making any waves through that you were like, ooh, that's unique, or is it pretty much all the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's all polyhybrid. Wouldn't you say all the seeds are pretty much the same, other than Ace Seed Bank, which had all the...
There's a few, but almost everything is multi-polyhybrid.
Multi-polyhybrid.
Hi, Sam.
Howdy, howdy.
What have you seen there that's been unique there, Sam, or is it pretty much just the same old?
Mostly looking at CBD varieties.
Any unique ones, or just the same ones you're seeing?
No, but I'm interested in, I want to find every CBD synthase that exists. And then make them all express and understand what's the differences, if any.
Well, I'm sure that most people watching Hash Church don't have any idea what he just said. So maybe we can explain that a little bit. What do you think?
It's a group in Germany that Dave's doing some work for, Sam's doing some work for, that's looking at production of cannabinoids in yeast. So one of the things that they're doing is looking at all the different versions of these genes that exist in the gene pool. And they've sequenced them all and look and see if there's differences. And it might be that one version of the synthase, one allele, is more efficient at producing CBD than the other ones. So it's kind of the data collecting for that whole experiment. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Just been answering people in the chat that were asking some questions. Welcome, Horatio.
Morning, Horatio.
Morning.
What's up, Horatio?
Morning, Etienne. I didn't get a chance to say good morning.
Nice new pipe there, sir.
Thank you. Very happy with him.
Any new pieces that you've seen of any interest there, Marcus, or is it pretty much you're just rolling? You were pretty much just rolling around with your eggs, so you were in terpene land most of the time, huh?
Yeah, a few people brought. I saw my friend Dabinator, the Max from the Dabinator company, had a really cool dragon that he brought to the Dabadoo, and a few people brought some nice pipes by the booth, but mostly it was just our fab egg that we were hitting the entire time.
Are you seeing any difference in people now that they're making a more of an appreciation for the quality of the hash in the way that they're smoking it? Are they still just, is it all hash tobacco joints, or are people that make these fine quality products, do they smoke them in a better way?
Yeah, some people are smoking them in a better way. I mean, yesterday I literally had an Italian guy tell me that he had this 99.999 dry sift, and I was like, oh yeah, I smoked some of that. It was really nice, the melon cookies. And I said, how did you smoke it? And he said, oh, I just put it in with a little tobacco, and I almost fell down and cried. I just couldn't believe that someone would take a product that nice. It took the guy 12 hours to take 2 kilos and turn it into 8 grams. And this motherfucker takes it and puts it in tobacco. I was just like, holy fuck, bro.
Yeah.
I guess.
I thought you were going to say that he actually put the tobacco on the Jermichael screen and then put the hash on top of it to melt. But I expected something horrible like that was going to go down. And I bet he said he tasted the whole thing, too.
Well, I gave him a dab afterwards on the mothership, and he understood that he did not taste the whole thing. But it's how people learn, right? They smoke how they learn, and then they stay that way for much of their life.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting if that's what I was wondering. Are people getting off tobacco over there, or is it just still so in your face culture that everybody? I mean, the few people that are smokers that you meet that don't smoke, that either smoke pure or they don't smoke with tobacco, is really small.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So the non-tobacco room didn't stay non-tobacco? Is that what I'm hearing there, Bubbleman?
Well, if you opened the door and you stood in front of the door and you talked to the owner of the club for 20, 30 minutes like Tony did, there was no purpose to the smoke-free room because there was so much smoke coming into the room. But I still had a great time. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was early enough in the day. It was last night at the Hash Museum. I got poisoned. They were smoking so many. They chain smoked cigarettes, and I just couldn't. I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, I can't either. It's really strange that they. Well, I understand. I totally get it. Hey, Tony.
Okay. What up? How's the Bubbleman feeling?
Oh, pretty rough, you know. Got a pounding headache, but just pounding through for some hash church. We've been doing it for about an hour.
Nice.
We've got 700 people watching live right now, and
You know what happens in Spain on Sunday?
nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Only a
Hey,
blood from cops.
How you dealing with the cigarette smoke there, Tony?
We don't deal with cigarette smoke. We don't hang out with people that smoke cigarettes or smoke tobacco. It's just it's like absence. You just don't surround yourself with people like that.
True.
I think Sunday is Pollo a Polastra Day. It's like crazy chicken barbecue places spot up all over the city, and everybody has chicken barbecue.
Chicken barbecue, hey?
I didn't see any chicken barbecue. I saw lots of cops.
Those rotisserie chickens. I see those.
Morning, Tony.
So were people freaking out over the terpenes? What was the reaction?
Oh yeah, there was. I wish we could have recorded everyone's face.
Me too.
Even
that first hit.
that first smell, even.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much everyone at that VIP party, even Ricky Williams, everyone that just
And the
smelled
drinking it.
the drinking of it freaks them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It always gets them.
Yep. Yeah, we had I talked a little bit about it, but definitely if you want to talk a little bit about your experience at the terpene party.
You know, it was. It's like anywhere else when you get into. The idea is to like basically pass along the experiences. That's why I came out here, was just share the experience with people, and I think it was cool to have the multiple sensories. So you're able to smell it, you're able to vape it, and you're able to taste it. And those were the three things that we did at our terp party. So I think it was super important to be able to have all sensories experience at the same time.
Yeah, you need a GoPro for your mothership, though.
Terpene only.
Oh yeah, the Vape Exhale. Yeah, we used the Vape Exhale, which has these little glass rods that go into this kind of like volcano vaporizer, and one little drop into this little unit was getting good 10 rips off of one drop. So it was definitely the most efficient way to
What temperature was that?
Oh, it was 275.
That's
really
Fahrenheit,
low.
right?
Yeah, Fahrenheit. Yeah, really low. But that wasn't until the very end, so we had to build it up. I was trying to serve like rosin with different terpenes, like sushi on little platters, and then Bubbleman was making sure that everyone actually got to try everything. So he spent a lot of time going to each individual table and sitting with people.
Fuck yeah.
So that's kind of how the party was. It was pretty cool. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tables. I think everybody was really into it, you know? It was something new and exciting. The only problem was we just didn't have enough, as usual.
Well, to sell them all, everyone wanted to buy them all.
Oh, yeah. Well, even the ones in my hand.
Yeah.
Well, I'll buy a drop from you. Well,
I
we're
know.
not even selling a drop. This is all I have. This is my last.
Well, by the end of the party, what we really started doing, well, Tony started doing, was giving everyone a drop in their own hash container and turning all their shitty hash. Like, it seemed like it was 3-star, and it would go to, like, 4 or 5-star when you put, like, a single drop of terpenes in.
Yeah. Yeah, remember that guy had, like, just powder?
Oh, yeah, dude.
It was, like, 3-star powder, and I
Just
took
turned it
one
into a
drop,
rock.
and I took 3 grams into the one drop, made it into a rock. Kept
Yeah.
pressing it and moving it around.
Like a caramel rock.
Yeah.
That was awesome. It was awesome. Man, the chat room wasn't working this morning. That was a bit scary. Nice that it all worked out. Tony updated the computer and started it over, and it worked. For some reason, it just wasn't engaging, and I don't know how we would do Hash Church without all of you guys, helping us out with questions and talking.
What time is it over there?
Almost not, or just after 9 o'clock. It's daylight savings in America.
Oh, it's daylight savings on top of it?
Yeah.
That's why I came in an hour late. I didn't realize it started so early.
Yeah, right now it's like 8, and like I always get up at like 6. So this morning I got up at 5. Apparently, I didn't even realize it until like 20 minutes ago.
John's stoked.
John is stoked.
You look great without your neck brace on, John.
Yeah, you
Honestly,
do.
it's gotta feel fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's just constantly moving his head left and right.
Yeah, you're scarred.
Jesus, dude.
I feel great. You know, it's like I was saying, Tony, in the beginning is how much in the beginning of my accident and how cannabis and the community became so much a part of it, and that were really the ones behind me that stood beside me and saw through what I've been going through for the last 11 years, and it's just awesome to feel and to know and to see exactly around me and all the books and all the education, all the stuff that I've had to learn to deal with my pain and now just the next steps. I still have it, but you know what I mean? It's not as excruciating what it was, and understanding what I used for that pain can only help people benefit in the future, I know.
You can see it definitely in your face, John. You could totally see it. Your face looks so much more relaxed.
I'm not swollen anymore. Because my spinal cord was compressed and diffused, my face was swollen. I can see it in all the pictures now. Like, I'm just not swollen. It's cool. It's awesome. Morning, Todd.
Morning, John. You look great without a cast on.
Thanks.
Nice to see you looking more normal.
Morning, Todd.
Morning, Todd.
You know, more than the cast, it's the smile. He's got this smile on his face since the surgery. It's great to see. You don't have that, like, underlying...
Right now, he's just smiling left and right.
Yep. He's definitely rocking the Stevie Wonder. It's good to see. It's good to see. I hope that's...
Definitely rocking the Stevie Wonder. I love that. All you gotta do is start cursing a lot, and you'll be just exactly that, Stevie Wonder.
We saw a picture of you last night, Todd.
Oh, you were through the museum.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I tell you a funny? So I wrote, "That's odd," and before I went to bed, I got a picture of Ben from Ben. I would think, like, what the fuck? What's odd? And I just had to tell him I was making a joke. You know, it's like the Todd without a T. But museum's amazing, huh, Tony? Is it your first time in the Barcelona museum?
Yeah, that was the first time. We were in we were at a party, and then we basically walked over to the museum. It was my first time in there. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
It's
really,
really,
what a collection, huh?
We got a private tour from Robbie.
Yeah, we had a private tour.
And before that, we went to the Placa de Antonio Lopez, this palace that Advanced Nutrients rented out for a party, and it was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called it the World Party.
Yeah, they call it the World Party, and it was like Big Mike walking around with his handlers and his security team and his assistant manager and his private personal assistant, and it was pretty intense, dude. At one point, he walked up to our table and he talked to Tony. He was like, "Hello, Tony. I've heard a lot about those terpenes," and it was just super intense. It was just like over the top intense. I just was
He's
like,
got
I'm
a
gonna pick up my bag.
personification now, bro. He's the marijuana Don. He's in a character now.
Right.
Right. You didn't realize that. You know, when I first met Mike, he was actually really, really cool. You know, it's just I think he's trying to define himself against, a sea of so many others that are, well, no one's special if they're the CEO of a cannabis company anymore. There's only a million more like you. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Todd. Thanks.
Whoa.
I'm just joking.
Once upon a time, Bubbleman. You're right.
Did I tell you how we had ESPN come by with Ricky Williams and Sports Illustrated and do a big interview with myself and Tony? That was pretty cool.
Illustrated.
A little bit of normalization
Yeah,
there.
it was pretty funny when I was like, "Hey, Bubbleman, do you know who Ricky Williams is?" He goes, "No, not at all." I go, "Do you follow NFL football?" And he goes, "No, not at all." I was like, "Okay, well, Ricky Williams wants to talk to us, and he wants to talk to us about the terpenes and take like a terp dab." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I know absolutely nothing about football, but okay, let's do this." And basically, he was cool. Man. He was really cool. He's what I call in the midst of the crossover. He is a believer in cannabis having a role in sports medicine, especially for athletes that are retired, going through arthritis and pain, and also as a not just a pre-concussion formula, but something that would also allow athletes to recover faster. And
Yeah, and the guy was like, he was not what I would consider what you would think a stereotypical, not that I know what a stereotypical football player is, but he was really conscious. He had studied Ayurvedic medicine. He had a level of awareness that was just, when I tell people the depths of how far this goes, most times they don't really stick with it, and he seemed to stick with both Tony and I as deep as we went. He just seemed to have an understanding.
Looks like
He very much has an understanding. He's been a patient for years. He came to BPG, I would say, about 10 years ago, and it was actually kind of funny. I'm a Saints fan. He used to be on the New Orleans Saints, and after he was traded to the Miami Dolphins, that's when he started in cannabis. And I was working one day, and one of my employees ran upstairs, couldn't breathe, literally hyperventilating, and was like, "Hey, Etienne," and he eventually came out that Ricky Williams was downstairs registering. So I was like, "Really? Let me go see." And I go downstairs, and he was downstairs, and he was registering. So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to go sit on the side and wait till he's done registering, and I'll talk to him." Well, back at the old BPG location, we had a comedian on, and she was going through her routine, and as Ricky came through the actual front office there, he sits down and just watches the comedy for a second. And literally the comedian goes, "Show of hands here, has anybody ever been to Texas?" And in the back of the room, Ricky raises his hand. She goes, "Okay, all right. Has anybody been to the University of Texas?" He raises his hand because he used to be at the University of Texas. So he raises his hand, and then she goes, "Who the hell are you, Ricky Williams?" And he goes, "Yes, ma'am." And the entire room turns around, is like, and the comedian's just like, well, welcome, hi, how's it going? And everybody just laughing. And I went over to him and I said, "Hey, Ricky, I've followed you, needless to say, for a while. Can I smoke a joint with you?" And he's like, "Totally." And I sat down and smoked a joint with him for about 15 minutes, and he was the coolest, absorbed everything because he was still learning back then. So he was absolutely learning. We gave him a volcano because he was really into, healthy vaporization. And he went on his way as happy as a clam. Really cool guy. I knew it was him also because I looked out the window and he was in an orange H1 Hummer with Miami plate. So that's I also knew. I was like, oh, that's a real football player.
Can I just interject? Who the fuck expected a comedian at the pot shop in between check-in and buying your weed? That's kind of a little deviant in your story there, bro.
Well, that's the BPG experience. That was a great thing because back in the old location before we were evicted by the feds, we had a front office where we had 7 different volcanoes set up so all the patients could sit down and vaporize. So it was also a smoking lounge so people could smoke their joints as well as smoke pipes. You could rent a pipe or rent a bong, etc. So everyone's sitting around smoking pot at their table. So it's not unusual to have music or have comedy happen to go on at the time.
Not usual to have comedians at a pot club. No, not usual. I see them at coffee shops all the time in Amsterdam. But I will say this. I'm sure the jokes are a lot funnier after you hit the dispensary counter.
Oh, for some of the comedians that we had, needless to say, you needed it.
And Gaia what? No, I'm kidding.
Hey, and Gaia actually had jokes.
Need my medicine.
I wish I could go into a center that's like, okay, register, ID, sign a few waivers, have a seat in our room. We'll bring you some popcorn and some ginger ale as the comedy show begins. You can roll up your joint. You can get you have a rig right over here if you want dabs. And then after like a 30-minute comedy show, we get an introduction video of like the whole center and what's going on. A good couple hours before I could get in and get into the mood of picking out my medicine.
Right.
I wish we had like a whole show.
No, it wouldn't be bad. It's not.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Dope Magazine. They did an article on Hash Church that Todd provided pictures for, but we're quoted in it. But just to give a heads up, in the end of this recent issue of Dope Magazine is an actual Hash Church article because apparently we're spreading the word and it's pretty effective.
Very cool to see that. I also have a shout out to Give. Vince Noir hit me up today and let me know that one of the UK's hardest working activist, Chris Bong Chuffa Baldwin, sadly passed away last night after many illnesses. This man was a stalwart of UK activism, and would you please give him a mention on Hash Church today if possible? He will be sorely missed at every event in the UK. So we're thinking about you, Chris Bong Chuffa Baldwin, all the great work that you did. I hope you're in a better place now, and you will be missed in the community, my friend.
Let's blow some smoke in honor.
Blow some smoke in honor. I think that's a great idea, and I sure appreciate all you guys showing up so early. My goodness, it is not easy sometimes to make it onto Hash Church at 8 or 9 in the morning.
How have you been enjoying Spanish? How was the major event?
You know, I fell asleep, and I woke up at 3:58, and Hash Church was supposed to start at 4.
How was the overall event, Mark? How did you like Spanibus? What was the attendance like?
What's that, Todd?
How was Spanibus? How did you like the actual event? How well attended was it?
Very well attended, wonderful event. I mean, if I had just gone there with my bubble bags as usual, I might not be as stoked, but because we sold 60-plus tickets to the Terpene party and over 100 tickets to the Legends party, it's, you know, that was a really nice thing. I kind of feel like I came for the parties.
Todd, one thing that was interesting was that we saw 60 seed shops. I got 57 different seed catalogs.
Holy shit.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's incredible. So 56 of them all have the same stuff?
Yeah.
Multi-poly hybrids.
Multi-poly hybrids for everyone. No shortage of the multi-poly hybrids.
Was there anything at the show that stood out? Did you see any new technology or products that you just had to have?
Did you? Me neither. No, I wouldn't say so.
I think that
they don't have drone trimming machines yet? What the fuck?
There was trimmer machines there.
Oh, yeah.
The quote of the weekend?
Oh, yeah, what was the quote of the weekend? You can
lead a man to
a horse.
no, you can lead a
a man to
A wax membrane.
No, no.
wax. Yes.
Yeah, you can lead a man all the way to
The waxy glandular trichome membrane.
yeah, but you can't you can't get him to believe in.
You can't get him to believe it. We basically had a conversation with a kid named Ben at the terpene party who decided that he believed hashishene was actually the wax membrane and that there was no wax membrane at all, but that it was a hashishene. And we just kept saying, but it's not. It's a wax cuticle. And he was like, well, let me see a molecular makeup of it because I think it's hashishene. And I'm just like, first of all, you probably only heard that word on Hash Church like 2 or 3 weeks ago. How you doing, Mark? Oh, Mark's got no sound. What's going on there?
What the hell does hashishene mean?
Hashishene is one of the degraded terpenes that has recently been produced in cannabis found. Mark Scialdone was the one that brought it up. Yeah, it was a myrcene degradation, I believe.
Correct.
Who named it?
Getting Mark's audio working.
Who named it hashishene?
I'm not sure, but I bet you Mark
Is it
would
a
have.
real name, or did we just make that shit up?
No, that's a real name.
It's a real name, dude.
I guess humans made up everything, actually, when you think about it, right?
Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Well, hopefully Mark can get his mic working and tell us what's going on at his class, because I know he's teaching his hash class right now.
Hey, you saw Rob.
Did he?
Yeah, you had a picture of Rob on Facebook the other day.
Oh, that's right.
Best buds.
That's awesome. Hash science, baby.
Still can't hear you, Mark.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Mark's mic. Having some chocolate pudding there, Tony.
Yeah.
So what time is it there? Is it there in Barcelona?
5:21. Legends of Hash starts in 40 minutes.
So are you bugging out in 40 or in 15, 20?
I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to make it there for. Or I'm kind of even afraid to leave the apartment. I got the chills and the sweats and the headache and the achy bones and.
All from the cigarette smoke?
Oh yeah, dude, it set me right off. It's like radiation poisoning is what it literally feels like.
And it's hard to go anywhere in Spain without it.
Oh, everywhere I go, the minute I walk out on the street, the first breath I take will be an inhalation of radioactive tobacco smoke.
Can you imagine what chemotherapy feels like? Fuck.
Sam, I got a question, and maybe Chimera's still here. Like, for instance, I have a set of seeds called Silver Skunk, but then when I read on the description, it said may express roadkill phenotypes. Like, is there any time where the multi-poly hybrids end up spitting out like something more original, like almost like the black sheep of the family ends up actually being closer to a landrace gene than the multi-poly hybrid? Does that happen often?
Of course, if you're breeding and you've got a multi-poly hybrid and you breed it to itself, it's going to express it's like growing F2s. It's going to express its original makeups in varying degrees.
So is that like an actual better, like if I'm hoping not really for what they're selling, but for it to spit out something more original, should I lean towards like any kind of seeds that are either saying they're F2s or anything that pretty much in the description says it may express really radical phenotypes? I can only sprout so many seeds. I'm not you, so it's always like I'm looking for a trick to reduce wasted life.
There are no shortcuts to what you want, dude.
No, numbers, it's a numbers game, Horatio. It really is.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I fear when you have, like, everything I have is like, hey, dude, I bought you 2 seeds, and, like, I hope this makes it, and I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to end up responsible for a piece of crap, or if I better hit the jackpot. Everything is like that. This better be a jackpot seed, or I'm maintaining a piece of crap for my life.
Well, someone says I take the anti-tobacco opinion way too over the top. Well, I would say
you don't take it far enough.
I don't take it far enough. I will fight for someone's freedom to smoke cigarettes. I really would, but not to smoke them right beside me in an enclosed room. That's all.
Yeah, why should you put up with toxicity? I mean, come on. Especially forced, radioactive isotopes suspended in tobacco being blown all about you, What the fuck?
I personally agree with Mark. I absolutely would fight for their right to be able to poison themselves with tobacco. But I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want to breathe it.
It's crazy that I puff so hard, and I agree. I'm like, I'll smell it, and I'm like, I don't understand. How the fuck did I smoke that so hard for 14 years, and in 2 weeks, it makes me want to vomit when I see someone smoking their coffee with it? And I still puff nicotine, but tobacco carries something fucking deadly, because even I'm like, yeah, I don't see myself surviving in a room of tobacco smoke, and I'll want to go outside and hit my vape pen.
Right. It's trippy.
Well,
I get totally nauseous when I get to Amsterdam and I'm around my friends. I mean, I love them, but them smoking tobacco, it really does affect me. I'm so fortunate in California that we don't have indoor smoke, or we have indoor smoking bans, because it's just so much better to be able to walk into these places, especially at night, nightclubs, bars, whatever, and be able to breathe.
True. Yeah.
And I smoked for over like 15 years. I can't be around tobacco or anything now. It hurts my lungs. I can actually feel it. I can't believe I smoked that long.
I'm looking forward to getting rid of this feeling, because I feel like I smoked 3 cigarettes this morning, and I haven't. I didn't inhale any secondhand smoke yet today.
In fact, Mark, it drove you so insane that next thing I noticed, you were drinking alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. We were trying to clean my pipe with vodka, and one of us left a full glass of it, and I thought it was water. I went to take a sip. Spit that shit out like you wouldn't believe, man. That's fucked up. I can't believe people smoke that shit and drink that shit. What fuck kind of world are we living in here, people? Jesus Christ. They call that shit ethanol. You don't drink that shit. You run your tractor with it.
Your tractor.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that can relate to that.
Just came out right there.
Fuck. I'm telling you. That's too much for me. You guys would have laughed anyway. Spitting the vodka out.
Should have lit it.
Oh, yeah. It lit all right. I felt like my mouth was on fire.
Did you ever drink alcohol, Bubbleman?
No, there was some city, but
I never drink alcohol. I thought it was water. I was like, shh.
Hold on. Except when I'm cleaning my bong.
Yeah, well, everything's fucking closed in Spain, so I wasn't able to buy isopropanol alcohol, so I might be going back to Canada with a very, very dirty bong. We'll see what happens.
You fly out tonight?
Tomorrow.
Well, if they ban you from your own country, you can always come stay with me.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's funny.
What's going on with Legends?
Legends is happening here in a half an hour. It will start. I'm probably going to have to shut down Hash Church in the next 15 minutes or so we can
I think that's the story.
potentially get down there and organize it. Bring all the T-shirts. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to be there for. I really don't, but I got to make an appearance for sure. Get it all sorted out.
Anybody pre-charging with like 1,000 milligrams of CBD so that they can look like they have the ultimate tolerance?
I don't think so.
I think I heard, it was at the year Greg Gardner brought a CBD strain and like everybody, it was some cup, and everyone was like, I can't believe you fucked my high. I couldn't get high the rest of the night. And I always wondered if someone would bring like a killer CBD like melt that would just fuck everybody's high up.
Yeah. So that's the Legends shirt anyway. Smells a little like vinegar.
XL.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably is, yeah. No film allowed at Legends. That's right, we don't do cameras, we don't do social media. It's part of the vibe of Legends is the fact that you're forced not to use your phone. You're forced to stay in the moment. You're not allowed to smoke cigarettes. You're not rolling shitty joints and doing all these nervous habits that pull you out of the moment. You're forced at Legends to be in the moment. And it's kind of one of the things that makes it a bit of a special evening where we're not really bombarding you with the name of our event. We're not bombarding you with flyers and companies, and we're not trying to promote anything to you other than just to have a really lovely evening with some great people.
To me, what really makes it special is when you can see people like Wally Duck from Australia take a big giant hit and fall down right on his head.
Yeah, that is definitely a special special moment in time when
Turn the gravity off.
wow.
Damn, you're sounding rough there, Marcus.
Dude, I'm rough, bro. I'm dying here. I'm dying, Etienne.
We're all dying, just we're not there yet. And don't
And
get
he's
there.
a lot better than he was earlier this morning.
Yeah, I've gotten better, if you can imagine.
Did you take anything, or are you just waking up and getting some terps in you?
Get some pine terps to clear you up. Get some, like, yeah, real pine solly terps up the nose. Maybe you'll start running and loosen up.
True enough, true enough.
Go grab.
Tony, give him a dab of Vicks Vapor Rub. Straighten him up for this party real quick.
Yeah, he's not been in a good mood
Not so good.
since this morning.
Hurting unit.
He's had his last leg, you know. Everybody has
Is it time? Wait, is it time for the cayenne pepper snort?
That probably would help him. Do we have any cayenne pepper here?
Dry sift here to snort. There you go.
He goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not snorting that shit."
Snort that stuff.
He could snort some cayenne.
Cayenne?
Cayenne pepper.
That sounds hot.
Sounds like a pounding headache to me.
He could snort some dip.
There's my morning dab.
Oh, gooey.
Yeah, that'd probably really mess him up.
Well,
What's Mark doing over there? He's got a new picture of himself. Scialdone. He's got like a professional picture or something without his
back
glasses.
to his class, I think his mic wasn't working.
Yeah, but look at his picture. It doesn't have any glasses.
Well, he's in professor-teacher mode, so he's trying
Oh,
to...
okay.
Professor Scialdone. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Distinguished Mark Scialdone.
Come on, Tony, you don't have a headshot yet?
I think I do. I just don't ever use it. There's a picture of like an egg. You know, that's about as good as you're gonna get.
What came first, the mark or the egg?
Well, I'd have been an egg, right? I just want a picture of an egg in a soup.
An egg in a soup.
Humpty Dumpty.
That's an egg in a soup.
That is an egg in a soup.
That's pretty close.
That's what I am, Humpty Dumpty. So we got to get this party started, though.
Like nothing to do.
You guys have a great Legends of Hash.
Yeah, it sounds like. How many people are going to be at Legends?
Push on their thing.
Probably 100. 100 or so. Well, there was 100 and what? How many? 110.
Y'all got enough terps left to get through that?
Not really. Everyone that's coming probably has a lot more than I do. I just have a little bit left. I know as of yesterday at Spanibus, there was more people that had more terps than I did.
Yeah,
For sure. Just different people were like, "Oh yeah, I got that one. I got that one. I got this one."
Like red Congolese and
Yeah.
pineapple cream and
Yeah.
So
Here's
people are
mine.
rolling around with all their own terps as well, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, they all have their own. They all have their own. That's a lot.
What was
What
the
is
most unique terp that you saw, Tony?
Huh?
What was the most unique terp that you saw?
every time someone talks, you have
Okay.
to push on their mic or it'll just stay on you
Okay.
and it'll record just you.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Holy
And
cow.
usually people are doing this, and they're not. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay. I got the 101 over here on how to run Hash Church. All right.
Who's running the show?
I'm running the show. If you say anything, I'm clicking on you and it's recording you.
Your expression was pretty funny there. You were like, "Whoa," realizing the responsibility.
I got work to do.
All right. So can
The
you
responsibility is large.
repeat the question?
What was the most unique terpene that you saw there that made you go, oh shit?
Okay. So far, there was one cheese rosin that that was presented to us that was very floral, very different, to the point where I had to question if it was like next to a dryer sheet. It was just very floral, and it was not. It's just a really good rosin of this cheese. So I would have to say that one so far.
Yeah,
Was it real cheese?
Well, you know, there's a lot out there on the cheese, so we've been calling it the queso.
Yeah, the queso.
The queso. The Ethenthal. What'd you call it?
Emmenthal.
Emmenthal.
Oh, right, because they trademark cheese, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody
So-
should listen to that trademark. You can't trademark variety names like that. You can register the variety, but you can't trademark the name. They've already
Well,
gone through this in Holland. They've already gone through this in Holland. They tried to, a couple of the seed companies tried to do this a few years ago, about 10 years ago, and they had a big court case, and the judge said, you can't own White Widow. You can own Greenhouse White Widow or Dutch Passion White Widow or whatever White Widow, but you can't own White Widow.
I think there's LPs up
IAs and things like that.
there.
I didn't hear either of those. You guys were both talking.
I was gonna say I think there's some LPs up here in Canada, like Tweed and a few other companies trying to claim claims to certain strains too. So it's interesting what they're doing.
Yeah, we'll see how well that works out once the DNA information starts coming in. I mean, you can register varieties, but you can, I don't know. Even especially ones like in the LPs in Canada. I mean, it's a market that was created out of thin air after there was already a huge amount of public domain information. You can't just come in, like I can't come in and say, I own Blue Dream. You know, it's like you can't do that. It's public domain.
I get
And not only that, even the fact that like these guys like Big Buddha, whoever, are trying to claim plants or trademarks on genetics that aren't even theirs to begin with. I mean, I think everybody should just boycott all that shit.
They're not
altogether.
trademarking genetics, they're trademarking the name.
No, but he took he didn't find that plant, right? Somebody else found that plant and they called it cheese and he got a copy of it and started making seeds. You can't claim ownership of something that
He's not doing the seeds of the plant, he's doing the name. And anybody can do that anytime.
I don't think that it'll I don't think it'll last. It's a mark that's already out in the public domain that people are using. You can claim ownership of something that's in the public domain.
When I went up to go see him, me and Tony walked up to him, and the first thing I said to him was, "Hey, last week I developed and released a new variety. I've got good news and I've got bad news." And so he says, "What?" I says, "Well, the good news is it's a really good variety. The bad news is it's named Cheese Skunk."
Yeah, I think it's really poor form to even. Cheese is a popular name in Britain. It's kind of like the Kush of the UK. So I think it's pretty weak to try and just take a whole section of the market and claim it as your own because you.
Well, this is what we're starting to see, and this is where we as the
I didn't say it was moral. I said it was legal.
Stay on top of this because it's.
I don't think it is legal. I don't think it is legal. I don't think that market is legal.
But people are being.
Can I add? And it's non-enforceable. And that's the real crux of the issue.
Right, but
you can go around claiming all sorts of land until somebody invades you and kills your wife and family and kids and takes it over. So realistically, I don't think a lot of these assertions are going to be enforceable because just what he said, it's already in public domain and you're never going to take it back.
Yeah, there's publications going back like over a decade using the word cheese and people marketing products under the name cheese. There's all sorts of public domain. Proof of public domain, proof of prior use. I mean, one part of it that pisses me off is the greed, but you know, the other thing is it's not going to work, and it shows a lot about the type of people that are going to try and do that. Lawyers will tell you anything. Lawyers will tell you that they will patent anything for you, they will copyright anything for you, and they will charge you $300 an hour all the way through the process. So.
Is it a publicity stunt? Like in other markets, this would be a publicity stunt because it puts their name on the map. In discussion, even if it's not enforceable, it seems very cheap to have the entire industry discussing you.
I don't think they were intending that everybody was going to be discussing that. They sent out cease and desist letters to people saying stop using this name, you know, and people then went into panic mode saying, oh shit, I got a cease and desist, what the fuck, and then sent it to lawyers. So, you know, I think it's one of those things that they thought they could probably get away with, but now that it's spilled out into the open community, it is definitely, people are calling them out for it, and justifiably.
Well, I kind of blame the lawyers. You know, what Kamara is saying is, I think, true. They'll take your money, they'll lead you on, they're practicing law, they're cashing your checks, and then when they fail later on, which sometimes is years, if not decades later, what they filed for you is inenforceable and shit, then you're the one that loses. You know, they build up your hope, they make you think you've got a winning case, and the truth is you don't. And I think a lot of people in the cannabis industry are going to see that.
Yeah, well, I kind of think that, you know, let those people spend their money, and they deserve to waste all their hard money on lawyers' fees.
Well, Tony and Sam, it had to be the talk of Spanibus because it had just spilled out, and I know stoners love to talk, and that's the most recent thing. So what was the general consensus there in Spanibus regarding this cheese situation?
We're pretty skeptical.
Okay, no, I had to unmute it.
Okay.
I think he gave us a pretty good answer though.
Yeah, but most of the general population are skeptical. They don't like big business. They don't like people who are going to monopolize, and he's a good target.
Yeah.
A big target, literally.
Chat said it was filed October 24th. Big Buddha Trees is trademarked. Under
Yeah, but where?
SDO Limited.
What's the territory? That's the question. Is he patented it in the UK? Did he patent it in the EU? Did he patent it all over the world, or the US, or wherever? You know, you don't own a mark just because you register a mark in Netherlands or the UK. It doesn't mean that you own that mark in the rest of the world.
Well, can I bring up something? And this is really, I think, also the next crux of the issue is we're having a global conversation now, and the courts do not support intellectual property in other countries. So people can be listening to this in Thailand or wherever the fuck they are, and they can run with any of the ideas they have here because there's almost no way, there's no long arm of the law that's going to go from an American court somewhere in Europe where somebody's popping out seeds that fall under whatever name they heard on whatever internet show they were listening to.
So,
I mean, look at GG4. I think Gorilla Glue 4 is the perfect example. You know, Jonesy, he came up with this plan. He released it to the world and let people start using it, and you know, gave it away so that people could grow it for medicine, and it's hugely popular. And other people are trying to use the name and sell seeds and all this other stuff. It's ridiculous. It's like, let the guy that came up with the product, you know, profit from his product and do your own thing. I don't understand why people want to just like copy other people's stuff.
It's easier.
You know, this is back in the 90s. Initially, when I got OG Kush, it wasn't OG Kush, it was just Kush. And the reason I showed it to Rob is I thought it was the wrong thing to call it after growing Hindu Kush in Amsterdam because it wasn't leafy, it didn't look like Hindu Kush, wasn't really a Kush. So I had the question like, hey, is this a misnomer? And, you know, they started calling it OG because everyone else started calling it Kush after Kush became popular because people found this good pot named Kush. And it was just an evolution of naming, if you will, that we're seeing all the time. You know what I mean? Because once you make a name popular, people want to then copy the name and pretend like everything's Kush when it wasn't.
You remember what happened with Paris Hilton, though? She tried to trademark That's Hot. So right now you can't say that's hot cheese. And so what's going to happen with that's hot, or what's going to happen with cheese is what happened with that's hot. Remember everyone said that's hot, and then Paris Hilton said, I own that's hot. So hot, that's hot. And then nobody said that's hot anymore. So
Well, because she made it instantly very uncool to say it, but is that true? I didn't know she did that.
Yeah, so you can't say that's hot cheese, and you can't say cheese, and you can't say that's hot. So the new word, con queso and Emmenthal.
I just trademarked macaroni kush in the chat. Will that hold up in court if I just go that route with the macaroni kush? It tastes like yellow and it tastes like yellow and orange.
We're gonna have to get the big boys upstairs involved.
Is it macaroni kush or macaroni and kush?
Ooh, I fucked up, and now someone's got macaroni and kush, and they've capitalized, and they got investors, and they're about to wipe me out.
Does it come with a little packet of terpenes in it?
They're powdered terpenes. They use that same stuff as the alcohol shit so that it's, stable. Don't dab it.
I want to say this. It's a funny thing because I asked Aryan a long time ago why he put his name on some of the strains he had, and he said it's the only way I can keep my competitors from taking names I make up because they sure won't put my name on their menu. And I laughed and I went, wow, that's actually the best reasoning I've heard yet.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I gotta admit.
Yeah, and he was right. I mean, they're not going to stick his name on their menu. No way.
Well, he paid all those lawyers and lost the case, so he had to realize that, okay, well, if I can't actually deal with naming, and the law specified it has to be greenhouse, so he went with his own. So I credit his brilliance there.
Yeah, I know Shanti and Ben Dronkers went through a little bit of this with the Mr. Nice variety. So I guess they did.
Did they do the dance over that?
Yeah, a little bit. I think a little bit. There was a discussion about it, at least, put it that way.
Yeah. So we're going to have to start calling Skunk 1 Sam Skunk 1 just for... No.
Shits and giggles.
I'm releasing the Verzura Indica and the McCormick Kush next week, so...
I bet you that McCormick name is tied up in herbs and spices pretty well.
Yeah.
So it'll be Todd Kush then, right?
Oh, no.
No, we're going to call it the Odd Kush.
There you have it. That Odd Kush, that'd be fine. At least I'll chuckle.
All right, guys. I hate to do it, but I gotta pull the plug. We gotta head over to Legends. We have 10 minutes to make it. And thank you guys all for showing up once again. It was a short hash church, but we pulled it off, number 77. And hopefully I make it to Legends, and you guys get to hear about it afterwards. Thank you all for your time and energy, and have a wonderful Sunday, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll talk soon.